With the rise of the electric bike, so too has come the rise of the electric fat bike. At no other point in bicycling history have fat tires been so in vogue, so in the moment, or just so damn in demand. Before we started putting motors on them, fat bikes were known as cumbersome and heavy machines that were often reserved for those who were venturing out into snowy terrain, deep mud, or otherwise impassable situations. But now that we're adding motors to them, those heavy machines have become much more easy to pedal, easy to manage, and everybody seemingly wants one. But which electric fat bike is the best?
That's the question we're going to look to answer today. I'm Griffin Hales alongside Sam Gross, two of Electric Bike Report's primary product testers, and we're going to be walking you through our picks for the best electric fat bike of spring 2022.
Electric Bike Report's choice for the best Class 3 electric fat bike of 2022 is the Aventon Aventure. Now, the Aventure is a relatively new release from Aventon, and its name is actually hinting at exactly what it was designed for, and that's adventuring. It's a 750 watt rear hub motor, and it's got a very nicely appointed component package. And it's a very nice handling e-bike both on road and off. And in fact, among the affordable electric fat bikes that I have personally reviewed, I would say this one is just a hair better than the rest at handling off-road situations. And that's thanks to its very balanced and natural handling geometry. And on-road, Aventon has done a great job of appointing this bike as a very nice commuter and just general get-around town e-bike. It also handles those Class 3 speeds incredibly well and very confidently. It's a good enough electric fat bike that we actually just recently featured it in our best overall video of the best electric bikes of 2022 as our choice for the best electric fat bike of 2022.
It really felt like last year the Aventure kind of took us in the e-bike world by storm when it first came out. We were very impressed by it. And when riding around on this, I've often likened it to the sensation you feel in driving a pickup truck versus that of driving a sedan. This just rides a little bit bigger and more powerful. It's got great utility, and for us it was absolutely fun riding around on the Aventure, and that's why it's made our pick for the best Class 3 electric fat tire bike.
Electric Bike Report's choice for the best Class 2 electric fat bike of 2022 is the Rad Power Bike's RadRover 6 Plus. Now, this bike, in my opinion, is the yardstick with which all other makers of affordable electric fat bikes should be measuring the quality and performance of the bikes that they produce. It's a picture of quality, its performance, its dependability. Rad has spent so much time building an e-bike that is just really kind of a glimpse into the future of what we can expect from the e-bike industry as it matures. They've spent a lot of time engineering dependability into the motor and the battery. It's a bike you can have a lot of faith in as it ages and that it's going to continue performing as you expect. It's built around a 750 watt rear hub motor, a 672 watt hour frame integrated battery. It's got a set of hydraulic disc brakes as opposed to the mechanical disc brakes that came on the previous version of the RadRover. And it's also got a very competitive and nicely appointed drivetrain.
A few weeks ago when we filmed our best overall e-bikes of 2022 video, we had mentioned the Rad City on that list, and almost every nice thing we have to say about the Rad City would apply here on the RadRover as well. It's just a bike that gives it to you on bigger tires. It's a very comfortable and controlled ride that riders will appreciate time and time again as they're out on the roads. It comes with some optional things such as the front basket here, and it does include a rack on it as well for some great utility. All in all, it's a great overall bike and our pick for the best Class 2 electric fat tire bike.
Electric Bike Report's choice for the best ultra-affordable electric fat bike of 2022 is the Lectric XP 2.0. Now, this bike was almost an auto inductee into this category simply because its ultra-affordable price point of right around $1,000 MSRP, and also because it's simply one of the most common e-bikes we actually see out in the wild in the area where we live and work of southern Utah. It's built around a 500-watt rear hub motor. It has a frame integrated battery, a good component package that's going to get you started, a front fork, and overall it's just a really fun little e-bike made for romping around on forest roads or really wherever you might want to take it. It obviously folds up so you can store it easily in the back of a car, a cramped garage, or even in an RV. But overall, it's just a really fun little e-bike, and it's a great option for your first e-bike or if you're just on a tight budget.
There's two things that stood out to me. Number one is just how it seems to have mass appeal. As Sam mentioned, we've seen these maybe more than any other e-bike out on the paths here in southern Utah, but I've seen anyone from retirees to college age kids to RVers to you name it. This bike just has appeal to everybody. The second, of course, being that price point. It's amazing what they've been able to spec this bike out with and keep it around $1,000. You get a little bit of a taste of everything. It does fold down. It does have a little bit of suspension. It's got those kind of fat tires that give you some terrain versatility as well. It's overall just a very fun bike and a great pick for the affordable fat tire e-bike of 2022.
Electric Bike Report's choice for the best trail-ready electric fat bike of 2022 is the Surface 604 Boar Explorer. Now, I personally stop short of describing most affordable electric fat bikes as electric mountain bikes, but this bike makes the most compelling case yet that it's plenty capable for trail use. And how Surface 604 has done that is by really hyper-focusing on what they want it to do. They haven't put anything like racks or any other random accessories on it, and they've kept the weight down to just 50 pounds. They've also spec'd it with a torque sensor, which with this 500-watt rear hub motor makes it incredibly controllable, which is important when you're in tight technical situations on a trail and you don't want your motor to overpower the bike and send it off into the woods or off into the desert. You're also going to find a lot of componentry on this bike that is borrowed directly from e-mountain bikes. You're talking a 9-speed drivetrain, really nice hydraulic disc brakes, and Surface 604 has also done the bold move of not speccing this trail-ready e-bike with a suspension fork. Instead, they've chosen a rigid fork, and the reason being is to keep cost down. And I would actually argue it very much makes this bike handle better than if they would have put a cheaper and maybe less dependable suspension fork on this bike.
Now, while the stock option does come fully rigid, you do have the option of upgrading to a Ren fork on there if you choose. But for us, we actually enjoyed this fully rigid bike. And if you're going to make a bike that's fully rigid but is still good, you really have to nail the rest of the feel, and we feel that by and large Surface 604 has done that. The way the torque sensor and the motor and the drivetrain come together, it's very easy for riders to find a happy pedaling setting that feels unique to you. Not only that, but these tires are absolutely massive, some of the largest we've ever ridden around on, and to be quite honest, they're just a lot of fun. So if you're looking for a fat tire e-bike for some trail riding needs, we think you should definitely take a look at the Surface 604 Boar Explorer.
Electric Bike Report's choice for the best electric fat bike for smaller riders is the Rad Power Bike's RadMini 4. Now, as this bike's name suggests, it is a great option for those on the shorter end of the spectrum, but we just found out right before filming this video that Rad is actually releasing a successor to this bike in the Rad Power Bike's Rad Expand 5. Now, we have high expectations for the Expand 5, mostly because it's like the third or fourth e-bike in Rad's lineup that we've seen them revamp in the past 12 months. And all of those bikes that have been re-released have done spectacularly well and exceeded the previous models. In addition to that, the Rad Expand 5 is also a step-through frame now, which actually makes it even more accessible for those who may be just a little bit shorter. The RadMini, though, however, is still one of our favorite e-bikes for smaller people, mostly because it's built around a 750-watt rear hub motor, and it's just got a very nice component package. It's all around just a really fun e-bike.
And we by no means had low expectations when we first started out on this bike, but the expectations we had were met and surpassed. It really does handle very well. It's a very zippy bike, and I actually really love the semi-slick tires that they chose to put on this. They actually rolled amongst the best of any e-bike that I've ever ridden around on. The fact that it can accommodate rider height around 5 feet is something people will love, but even a 6'1" rider like me found a lot to be happy with on this bike. So the RadMini is an absolutely great choice for smaller riders, and we think that the RadXpand will build on that and be a great choice as well.
Electric Bike Report's choice for the best long-range electric fat bike of 2022 is the Himiway Cruiser. Now, the Cruiser is a bike that's earned itself a cult following among lovers of big batteries and big power. And though it's built by a company that's relatively small, it's a bike that's got a lot of personality. It's an obvious choice for the award of the best long-range electric fat bike simply because it has just a very big battery and a very big range. It comes with an 840 watt-hour battery, and in our range testing, it's performed among the best of all the affordable electric fat bikes that we have range tested. But range is not the only part of this bike's story. It is also just incredibly powerful. It's got a 750 watt rear hub motor, and the tuning on it has really just leaned into kind of unbridled power. It's really fast off the line. It has no problem holding its class 3 speeds. Again, it's got a cult following for a reason by those who really like long range e-bikes that can go very far, very fast.
Now, I view this as being maybe one of our more controversial selections, because if you look into fat tire e-bikes, you are going to see a lot that actually offer dual battery setups. Now, while those are great and get you even more range than this one would, this one for us hit that sweet spot of battery range and price. It comes in a couple $100 below the $2,000 price point, and for us, that's really good value if you're looking to go far. And the fact that you can go far and fast on this makes it just such a great bike for us. So this is our pick for the best long-distance e-bike of 2022.
Electric Bike Report's choice for the best all-terrain electric fat bike of 2022 is the QuietKat Jeep. Now, the QuietKat Jeep was an obvious choice for this category because it really is just the king of the all-terrain electric bike category. It uses its full suspension design, really powerful mid-drive motor, and those very fat tires to just dominate any sort of terrain you want to put it in. This one is built around the Bafeng Ultra 1000 watt mid-drive motor, which, while it is not street legal, it is an absolute ripper in off-road environments like we're in right now. You can get it in the 750 watt version, which does make it street legal, and in either motor configuration, you're really looking at an e-bike that is just designed to tackle any terrain you throw it into. It borrows a lot of its componentry from the e-mountain bike category, so you get a lot of really durable componentry that's going to handle technical riding very well, but it's just fast and fun and really, really capable.
It makes all the sense in the world to me why Jeep chose to put their name on this particular e-bike from QuietKat. While everything we've looked at today is a very capable off-road handler, nothing really dominates those 4x4 tracks and off-roading quite like the QuietKat Jeep. We love the componentry that was spec'd on this e-bike. It all adds up to be something that is so capable in a wide variety of different off-road environments, and it just feels so good from the drivetrain to the tires to the motor. It honestly felt like a home run, and it's definitely worth taking a look at if you're looking for an all-terrain fat tire electric bike.
Last but not least, Electric Bike Report's choice for the best electric fat tire hunting bike is the QuietKat Apex. Now, the QuietKat Apex is a member of the burgeoning all-terrain electric fat bike category, but this version is built specifically with those hunters and outdoorsmen in mind. One of the reasons that this bike is set aside from its competitors is its welded-on rear rack and the fact that it is a hardtail. Those two things, combined with its incredibly high total payload capacity, make this bike very well suited for pulling trailers and being laden with gear, all to take someone way into far-flung places into the backcountry. Like the Jeep we highlighted earlier in this video, this bike is spec'd with the Bafeng Ultra mid-drive motor in several different wattage sizes, making it incredibly powerful. It also has lots of componentry stolen from the e-mountain bike category. We're talking about derailleurs and the suspension systems, making this bike very, very well suited for off-road terrain.
And QuietKat is one of a handful of e-bike companies that really kind of honed in on hunters early on. They've spent some time in this realm, and they've definitely thought through a lot of those features that Sam just mentioned. It makes it a really good tailored experience for their hunting crowd.
And that's it. That is our entire best list. If you've stuck with us to this point, Thank you so much for watching.
We do appreciate you guys sticking with us, and we will have some future videos coming out soon for different categories of bikes, including best commuter, best folder, best cruiser, and so on. So if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button down below and stick with EBR.
And be sure to leave us a comment, especially if you haven't seen the bike of your choice in this video or in our written review. We want to hear your feedback, and if there's a bike that you think is worthy of our list, be sure to let us know. Maybe we'll get it for review. Maybe we'll even add it to one of our lists in the future. But for Electric Bike Report, I'm Sam Gross.
And I'm Griffin Hales.
Thank you so much for watching.